Hey guys, how you doing? Pete Mikulka and Johnny. And we're here at 275 Route 79 North at the offices of the Mikulka Group from Mikulka Electric and Mikulka Contracting. And what are we going to talk about today, Johnny?
Well, welcome to our podcast, and we are going to talk about quite a few things. We're going to talk about some post lights.
So we're going to talk about outdoor lighting. So it's summertime. And people want to talk about lighting out by the pool, floodlights on the house, that sort of thing. So we're going to get into a little bit of that. Motion lights, security lights, really exciting stuff. And also, this is a great topic that you came up with for the music and movie corner. What are we going to talk about today?
Beyond their years.
Right, singers-songwriters who are beyond their years.
Yeah, and we'll get into that.
That's an interesting topic, yeah. Neil Young just comes right to mind for me.
Yep.
But anyway, we'll get into that. So let's talk about floodlights. Very exciting topic. No, really, this is a good topic because we get a lot of calls for this. People call all the time and they want to talk about lighting up their backyard, lighting up their side yard, lights around their pool, post light out front by their mailbox, that sort of thing. So one of the things that comes to mind when you talk about floodlights is how do you control the light? So if you have a light on the side of your house or on the back of your house, there's a couple different functions that this light can serve as. It can serve as the kind of light that goes on and off by motion. So if someone walks past the light fixture or on that side of the house, the light automatically comes on. It can be switched. It can be on a timer. It can be on a photocell. Photocell is an interesting lighting control, and basically what that means is that it's off when it's light and it's on when it's dark. And so it's activated by a light sensor, and so the light just automatically comes on. The difficulty about lights like that is that they stay on the entire night. So if it's a light that you don't want on all night, or your neighbors get bothered by the light, probably a photocell is not your best option. Probably a motion sensor is your best option. A lot of people like to put motion sensors on backlights where they have a dog. Right. So they'll open up the sliding glass door. It's completely dark. The dog runs out. Motion sensor kicks on the light. Dog has light while he runs around and does his business.
So now, what about just wildlife? Is there a way to set these things up where if a raccoon or a possum goes by, it's not going to sense that? Or
well, yeah, they have individual sensors, like a raccoon sensor, or no.
So anything's going to set it off.
Yeah, anything is going to set it off. Actually, sometimes even wind. So the trees will sway and the wind will set it off. They do have sensitivity, right? So you can have high sensitivity or a low sensitivity setting. But yeah, pretty much if here in Monmouth County, we have a lot of deer. So if deer come in the backyard, it's going to set it off. But if it's a security light, it's worth the trade-off because ultimately you would want a person walking up in your backyard. It's worth it. So it goes off. So one of the things that people don't always think about when they think about floodlights and post lights is the fact that if you want a light that's out somewhere remotely on a post, that involves
trenching.
Yeah. And we as electricians, we hate to trench.
Don't like trenching.
No, don't like trenching at all. But we'll do it if the price is right. So basically, and when I say that, I don't mean just us, Mikulka Electric. We provide services of trenching, but generally for mechanical guys in general, trenching is something that comes with a pretty significant cost. So if you can imagine that, let's say you have your pool, it's 50 yards away from your house. We have to dig a 50-yard trench. That's about, 150 feet. So that can get expensive.
And people don't understand that it has to be a certain depth and so forth and so on.
Yeah, one of the things about being electricians is there's a lot of rules. A lot of rules about every single thing that we do. So the other thing I want to mention about poles that people don't really consider is the fact that there's a little bit of concrete work to it. So sometimes, depending upon the light fixture that you get, there's concrete. So this is definitely one of those cases where you can buy a $350 light fixture and the job costs you $1,800 to get the thing.
That costs more than the fixture.
Right. Yeah. So when you're thinking about floodlights, when you're thinking about post lights, a couple things to consider. How are you going to control it? Is it going to be a switch, a photocell, a motion sensor? Or also, if you're going to do a post light, how far away is it from your house? Is there concrete work necessary? And again, how are you going to control it? So there's always a lot of questions, and that's why if you give us a call, we'll be happy to come out, take a look at what you got going on, and give you an estimate. And again, the number to call for that estimate is 855 Mikulka. So that's floodlights, basically. We have one more section of our lighting segment that we're going to do next time, and that is the exciting world of commercial lighting.
Ooh.
But for now, let's move on to Johnny's Music and Movie Corner.
Right.
And what we're going to discuss today is...
They're beyond their years. Singer-songwriters, and you and I have had this conversation. I've had this conversation with other people as well, that they write beyond their years.
Yeah.
Singer-songwriters write beyond their years.
And who was your guy? Who was your guy you were
Jackson
thinking of?
Browne.
Yeah.
So if you listen to These Days, right, he talks about things that he wrote it when he was 16 years old. There was no way a 16-year-old could have the wherewithal and the depth, you know what I mean, to tag into these type of things. Please don't remind
Maybe he
me.
stole it.
Well, please don't remind Please don't remind me of my flaws. I have not forgotten them. He gets in. I would read the lyrics, but our internet down is in the office here, so I have my limbs are cut off. But Neil Young.
Yeah. So these guys are old souls. These are old souls. So
Right.
if you ever meet, you meet somebody, like a lot of times it's really obvious in children too. Like you meet a child, and it's like obvious the child doesn't act like
A child.
So yeah. So and also I think the premise of the old soul
Right.
and the singer-songwriter beyond their years is tied to the tortured artist.
I agree.
The tortured artist thing, because all these guys, like Cobain and Chris Cornell, these guys.
Yes.
Right, and because we're older guys, so obviously we're grunge,
Right.
90s
Yes.
people, that's where we're going to, right.
But they write beyond their years. They write about things they shouldn't know about. They write about things that, a person in their midlife, is exposed to and understands, having lived that 50 years.
Right, like
Right.
you take a good pop song, well, what I consider to be a reasonably good pop song is like that Ed Sheeran song where he's like singing about driving through the country and stuff, and he's with his old friends but he can't go home again, and some people, like, that's all, it's good music, it's well written, but it's like age appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're talking about where like a 20-something-year-old writes about life knowledge that you really don't acquire until your 40s, 50s, or 60s.
Right.
So anyway.
Billie Eilish, like, she writes beyond her years, for sure. That's a modern person.
There you go.
I knew who that was.
Yeah. And the surprising thing is, I know who that is too. So anyway, why don't you check in with us at 855 Mikulka, or stop by the office at 275 Route 79 in Morganville, New Jersey. Johnny will always take a minute away from work to talk to you about
Absolutely.
music or movies.
Mm-hmm.
And most appropriately, if you can name a singer-songwriter in a genre that maybe we haven't thought of, that would be awesome.
Give us some lyrics. Like, this guy wrote it at ba-ba-ba, or she did at ba-ba-ba. You know what I mean? I want to know.
And if you happen to also need some electrical work or anything like that,
we'll do that too.
Give us a call too. We'll do that as well. All right, guys. So we'll see you next time. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay well, and don't forget, 855 Mikulka. Take care.